focus on this interview he's going to be giving later on today, Friday evening, our time here in Europe, or into the US evening. What are you going to be watching for?
Well, that's exactly right. I don't think there was a single political reporter or political staffer in Washington who took the day off yesterday. I think, look, you're walking into what can accurately be described as a make-or-break weekend for Joe Biden and his his hopes of election. Right? He's got a big interview with George Stephanopoulos of ABC that is set to air. Originally, this was supposed to be airing on Sunday morning, Washington time. That got bumped up by ABC, actually, so it's going to be all airing on Friday, Washington time. There'll be some excerpts that come out during the evening news program, and then it's all going to air all together at 8 o'clock D.C. time. So 8 o'clock in the morning here in Singapore on Saturday and overnight for European viewers. But that's going to be, I think, very keenly watched. You know, Biden had events today. He had some local interviews, some radio interviews. He also hosted military families to watch the 4th of July fireworks at the White House. All of those things not without some little misstep, but not, you know, of a major sort of grade as we saw during the debates. But I think, you know, these are going to be very, very closely watched. A lot of times when you're talking about big sit-down interviews with the president, you're looking for details on policy. This is really going to be a lot about eyeing Biden, kind of seeing where he is and getting a sense of that sort of situation. And Biden, look, let's be clear, has a lot of restiveness within the Democratic Party, even though senior leaders have not said so openly yet.
Derek, there's a lot of buzz here in Europe, and I would argue globally, even within the states, of whether Kamala Harris can take over the Democratic nomination. But she didn't poll that well, especially against President Trump back in 2020. Is there anything that might increase her odds this time around, not against Biden, but against Trump?
Well, if you look at her separately, and let's stipulate a world, which still is probably a little unlikely, but let's stipulate a world in which all of those events do happen and she's the nominee. First off, she's the most likely person if it's not Biden because of the simple fact that she just went through a process where she was going to be the VP nominee and everybody voted for that ticket, right? Secondly, there's an issue of campaign funds. They would sort of neatly transfer to her, whereas it would be very complicated otherwise. So for a lot of reasons, if it's not Biden, it's probably Harris. Harris is polling a little bit better than Biden is right now. You know, she's had some difficulties through her vice presidential tenure, but right now she's polling a little bit better. And that's animating Democrats calling for change.